Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Elizabeth. How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm really looking forward to today's topic because it's one that sparks a lot of debate and strong opinions. Is living together before marriage appropriate nowadays? More and more couples are choosing to live together before tying the knot, but there are still many people who believe that this isn't the best choice for a variety of reasons. Today, we're going to explore why some people feel that living together before marriage might not be appropriate, and we'll dive into the arguments against it.
That's right, Elizabeth. Living together before marriage has become much more common in recent years, but it's still a controversial topic. Many people believe that cohabiting before marriage can undermine the commitment of marriage, lead to relationship instability, and even impact the couple's long-term happiness. Today, we're going to take a closer look at those concerns and explore why some people think living together before marriage isn't the best idea.
Exactly. And for our listeners out there, as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Do you think living together before marriage is a good idea, or do you believe it's better to wait until after marriage? Share your opinions with us, and we might even feature them in a future episode. So, Jennifer, let's start by discussing the traditional perspective on marriage and why living together before marriage wasn't always seen as acceptable.
Sure, Elizabeth. Traditionally, marriage has been seen as a sacred union, a lifelong commitment between two people. In many cultures, marriage is considered the foundation of family life, and the act of living together was historically reserved for married couples. This belief stems from both religious and cultural values, where marriage was viewed as a formal covenant that brought with it social and moral responsibilities.
Yes, and in many religious traditions, particularly in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, living together before marriage is seen as immoral or inappropriate. These religions emphasize that sexual intimacy and living as a couple should only happen within the sanctity of marriage. For many people who hold these beliefs, cohabiting before marriage goes against these teachings.
Exactly, Elizabeth. Even beyond religious considerations, cultural norms have long supported the idea that couples should wait until they are married to live together. The belief is that marriage signifies a commitment to work through challenges and grow together, and that living together before marriage might undermine the seriousness of that commitment.
That's a great point, Jennifer. And even though society has evolved, these values still resonate with many people. Some argue that living together before marriage can create an atmosphere of temporary commitment, where couples might not feel as obligated to work through their problems or stay together in the long term because they're not bound by the legal or emotional contract of marriage.
Yes, and this brings us to another important argument against living together before marriage: the trial run mentality. Some couples believe that living together before marriage will help them test the waters and see if they're compatible. But this mindset can actually weaken the relationship. If couples treat cohabitation like a trial period, they may not fully commit to making the relationship work because there's always an easy way out if things don't go well.
That's so true, Jennifer. Problem with the trial run mentality is that it can create a lack of security in the relationship. Without the formal commitment of marriage, partners might feel like they can leave at any time, which can lead to trust issues and a lack of emotional investment in the relationship. Marriage, on the other hand, is a clear commitment to work through challenges together, rather than seeing the relationship as something temporary.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. And that brings up another concern: the impact on the couple's long-term relationship stability. Research has shown that couples who live together before marriage may actually have a higher chance of breaking up or getting divorced later on. One possible reason for this is that cohabiting couples might feel like they're already living, as if they're married, so they may drift into marriage without fully considering whether they're truly ready for that level of commitment.
Yes, that's a great point, Jennifer. Some studies suggest that couples who cohabit before marriage may experience what's called relationship inertia, where they stay together simply because it's easier than breaking up after living together for so long. This can lead to marriages that are based on convenience rather than genuine commitment and love.
Exactly. And cohabiting couples may also feel less of an incentive to work through challenges because they don't have the same legal or social pressures to stay together. In marriage, There's a clear expectation that both partners will make an effort to resolve conflicts and grow together. But when couples live together before marriage, they might not feel that same sense of duty to the relationship.
Yes, and that lack of commitment can lead to unresolved conflicts or even feelings of resentment. If one partner is more invested in the relationship than the other, it can create an imbalance that leads to long-term dissatisfaction. Marriage, on the other hand, often comes with a stronger sense of mutual responsibility and teamwork.
That's such an important point, Elizabeth. And another issue to consider is the social and family impact of living together before marriage. In many cultures, family approval and support play a big role in the success of a marriage. When couples live together before marriage, they may face disapproval or criticism from their families, which can strain their relationship or even lead to family conflicts.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Family expectations are a big part of many people's lives, and going against those expectations by living together before marriage can create tension and stress within the family. In some cases, couples might feel pressured to get married just to appease their families, even if they're not fully ready for that commitment.
That's so true, Elizabeth. And let's not forget about the emotional impact of living together before marriage. Many people believe that marriage is a special, once-in-a-lifetime experience, and that living together before marriage can take away from that sense of excitement and newness when the couple finally does get married.
Yes, Jennifer. For some, moving in together after marriage is seen as an important milestone that signifies the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. Living together before marriage might dilute that experience, making the transition into married life feel less significant.
Exactly. Couples who wait until after marriage to live together often describe the experience as special and exciting because it represents the beginning of their life together as a married couple. But when couples have already been living together for a long time, the transition into marriage might not feel as meaningful, which could impact how they view their relationship in the long term.
That's a great point, Jennifer. And speaking of long-term impacts, I think it's a great time to hear from one of our listeners. Let's take a call from someone who might have an interesting perspective on living together before marriage.
Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Sarah, and I'm calling from New York, USA. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and I love today's topic. I wanted to share my experience with living together before marriage and why I think it wasn't the best decision for me.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for calling in. We'd love to hear your story. What was your experience with living together before marriage?
Well, my partner and I moved in together after dating for about a year, thinking it would help us see if we were compatible. At first, it seemed like a good idea, but after a while, I started to feel like we were stuck in this in-between phase. We were living together, but we weren't fully committed in the way that marriage would have required. It made me feel insecure, like we were testing the waters without fully investing in the relationship.
That's such an interesting point, Sarah. It sounds like living together before marriage didn't provide the sense of commitment and security that you were looking for.
Yes, exactly. I felt like we weren't really moving forward in our relationship, and it eventually led to a lot of tension between us. I think if we had waited until after marriage to live together, we would have approached the relationship with more seriousness and commitment from the start.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Sarah. It's a great reminder that living together before marriage isn't always the best choice for everyone.
Thanks for having me. I love listening to your podcast, and I'm excited to hear more episodes.
Thanks so much for calling in, Sarah. Take care. That was a great call from Sarah. Her experience really highlights some of the emotional and relational challenges that can come with living together before marriage.
Absolutely, Jennifer. And for those of you listening, if you're enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep creating these episodes and sharing more interesting topics with you.
So, where does that leave us in our discussion today? I think it's clear that while living together before marriage has become more common, there are still several reasons why it might not be the best choice for every couple. From the lack of commitment to the potential impact on relationship stability and family dynamics, living together before marriage can present challenges that couples might not face if they wait until after marriage to move in together.
Exactly. Living together before marriage might seem convenient or like a good way to test the relationship, but it can actually create instability and lead to unrealistic expectations. Marriage provides a formal commitment that encourages both partners to work through challenges and build a strong foundation for the future, something that cohabitation might not always offer.
That's such a great point, Elizabeth. And it's important to remember that waiting until after marriage to live together doesn't mean you're avoiding conflict or challenges. It just means you're entering into that new chapter with a clear sense of commitment and a shared understanding of the long-term goals of the relationship.
Yes, Jennifer. And by waiting until after marriage to live together, couples can experience that special moment of starting a life together with clarity and purpose, knowing they've made a serious commitment to each other.
Absolutely. And for couples who value the traditional or religious aspects of marriage, waiting until after marriage to live together can also honor those values and create a stronger foundation for their relationship.
That's so true, Jennifer. And I think it's important for couples to really reflect on their values and goals before deciding whether to live together before marriage. What might seem like a convenient choice in the short term could lead to complications down the road.
Exactly, Elizabeth. So, to sum up, while living together before marriage has become more common, there are many reasons why it might not be the best choice for every couple. From the potential for relationship instability to the emotional impact and the risk of undermining the significance of marriage, it's worth considering the long-term effects of cohabitation before taking that step.
Yes, and for couples who are thinking about living together before marriage, it's important to have open and honest conversations about what you both want out of the relationship and how cohabitation fits into your long-term goals.
We hope today's discussion has given you some new insights into the potential challenges of living together before marriage and why some couples choose to wait until after marriage to take that step. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for listening. We're always here to share new insights and help you learn English while exploring interesting topics. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, everyone. Remember, commitment is the foundation of any strong relationship. So make sure you're building your relationship on solid ground.